talking about Elliot Rat. I mean Wolf.
How dare you?
It
could be anybody.
The Rat Pack. Not the
Rat
Wolf
Pack.
Not the Wolf Pack anymore, Keith.
I watched a documentary on the
Rat
Brat Pack.
Oh,
and,
my wife watched that.
Yeah, what's his name? Andrew McCarthy?
Sick brag, bro.
I think it was Andrew McCarthy. He was very salty about it.
Oh, was he?
Yeah,
I didn't want. I had to hear a cat squawking about watching this thing. I didn't see it, but so he was very salty about it.
He basically thought it
yeah.
He basically thought
a
it
lot of squawking.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
He basically was like, "Oh, it ruined our careers," and he's like talking to like Debbie Moore and Rob Lowe, and they're like, "I think we did okay." We did all right, dude. He's like, "Remember when that reporter called us the Brat Pack? That screwed us." They're like, "This like giant mansion." They're like, "Yeah, really kind of cost us." Like I was like, he just felt so. They're even trying to be like, even like Emilio Estevez is like, yeah, maybe he shouldn't have said that or whatever, but like, we're okay. And he was like mad the whole time. It's ridiculous.
Oh, we might need new music though. We need like Sammy Davis Jr. for a Rat Pack is what we need instead of the Wolf Pack.
There's a rat down there.
That was pretty clear. I thought finger pointing from Curran there about who Vrabel would be upset at. People leaking out information about Jalen Polk and why he's on the roster and why he wasn't able to contribute this year, et cetera, et cetera. So you can discuss that if you'd like at 617-779-7937. You brought up Emilio Estevez.
Yeah, Keith. Of course. Mighty Ducks.
Text line says, guys, it's great having you back together. The opening segment was like Mighty Ducks 2 when they rollerblade around the city and get the squad back together.
How about that?
That's from Dano in Chicago.
That's good.
It is like that. When you get all the Mighty
like
Ducks. Perfect analogy.
Yep.
I couldn't think of a better analogy.
Nailed it.
Riding around Minneapolis, rollerblading around.
Getting the crew back together. Banksy.
Oh, Banksy. Yeah. Then the Hawks they're trying some hijinks, and they're like, no.
Not
We're
today.
gonna clunk their heads together.
Not
We already
today,
beat them.
guys.
Now we got to deal with Iceland. So exactly. I understand the point. And it's a good one. We're talking Patriots roster here. I know you had some thoughts on Cole Strange still getting cut, no longer being Patriot.
So, I mean, it was a horrible draft pick at the time, and then it only got worse over time. You thought there was a brief moment where maybe he would move to center, right? Like last year, the year before, you're like, all right, maybe he's not even a guard. Maybe he's going to be a center. And then David Andrews retires. They bring in Garrett Bradbury, and you're like, all right, well, that's not their plan. And then you're like, but there should be a spot at left guard. Nope. Jared Wilson or Ben Brown. And like that's another observation just from camp is every time they would be moving guys in with the first team, Marcus Bryant, a late round tackle that they drafted, he would fill in all the time for Morgan Moses. I know it's a different position, but you saw a handful of bodies out there with Drake May. You didn't see Cole Strange.
Maybe in like OTAs, but yeah, by the time training camp hit, he wasn't out there.
And then you're like, oh, like he's just not even in the mix. So I wasn't surprised. Now, it's the one big, pull because it's a first-round pick. Anytime a first-round pick on their rookie deal gets released, it's going to be, on the ticker. It's going to be, Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport put out there. So it was a big deal, but I don't know. I don't think anybody was shocked by it.
This is a sad day. It's a bad day.
Also because it's not the guy that drafted him, right? It's one thing for, if Bill Belichick was still here or, around the league, anytime there's a first-round bust and that GM is still there, and they cut their guy, you're like, oh, wow, you've already given up on him? But here, Vrabel's look what Vrabel's done. He doesn't want any of those bad players from before.
Do you think he gets signed? Do you think he goes anywhere?
So I think being a first-round pick, you get chances. I mean, Mac Jones has gotten chances on multiple teams. So, yeah, I think Cole Strange gets a spot. Maybe there's a team out there that's like, no, he is a center. We're going to make him our backup center. Or we're at least, because he was a first-round pick, I think he'll get one more shot. Yeah.
You think Sean McVay wants him?
Really?
Just went.
Oh, my UT Chattanooga to the first round. Hey, where is...
How about that? And we wasted our time watching him thinking he'd be at 104 maybe.
You know what? Maybe.
Honestly,
just to stick it to him?
Honestly,
yeah, he might take him.
He sounds like he's like, yeah, we would have taken him in
he
the
knew
fourth
where he
round.
was at least.
Yeah. We would have taken him he was the first round pick.
We thought he was going to be there at 104.
Yeah.
No, 29, I think. He went flying off the board.
Nice.
Oh, my God.
What was worse, the 2022 draft or 2019? Let me give you a little refresher on 2022. You tweeted it out last night, Keith.
Both are great.
You called it an all-timer.
It is. It's an all-time draft.
2022 was Cole Strange, gone. Tyquan Thornton, now a Kansas City Chief. He gone! But gone.
Yeah.
Marcus Jones still here. Jack
Mark
Jones?
Jones is good, and a friend of the afternoon show.
Oh, this is true.
He joins them weekly.
Yeah, in fact, I heard his answer about Josh McDaniels. It's like, yeah, at least he knows I play offense.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
So that is a leg up over last year's coaching staff. Okay, Marcus Jones here. Jack Jones.
No, he is not here.
Pierre Strong gone.
No.
My guy Bailey Zappi, I saw just got released.
Started some games though.
He did.
Yep.
Kevin Harris.
Yep.
I know you got a tweet.
I got an interesting tweet about
some
Kevin Harris.
interactions with Kevin Harris.
Hey, then you can check the mentions there.
Sam Roberts, Jason Hines, and Andrew Stuber.
So really one play, and so it's not like there was the one draft class. Remember the Dietrich Wise class where because of trades they literally took 4 guys, and you're like, all right, that wasn't really going to be much of anything. That's a lot of players you just named, and one of them can play. One of them can play.
Yeah, it's 10 guys.
10 players drafted. One of them can go. And, I mean, he's a electric punt returner and a decent slot corner. Mm-hmm. So it's valuable, but it's not, yeah. So anyway, one guy, Marcus Jones, from that entire draft class.
Okay, that was one 10-pack. That was 2022. Here's another 10-pack, Keefe, in 2019.
So a lot of dart throws here. A
lot of dart. You would think someone hit. These are bouncing out of the board is what these are doing. N'Keal Harry.
I was a bust.
Joanne Williams.
Bust.
Chase Winovich.
Bust.
Your guy.
Friend of the show.
Damian Harris.
Yeah.
Pick 87.
Not a bust, but not a bust. Not like a great player.
No, you said this before the show. He would be the equivalent of Marcus Jones.
Yeah, and I think Marcus Jones is probably better, but Harris is at least a football player, an NFL player.
Yadni Kajust
was not.
Was a 3rd-round pick that year.
3rd-round pick.
Yante Froholt, I think, is still in the league. The Patriots cut him almost immediately, if I remember right. I don't think he made it out of camp.
All right.
Jarrett Stidham, Byron Cowart, Jake Bailey, and Ken Webster. What was Bill Belichick's signature worst draft out of those 2?
So quick little note on each. So it's 10. It's really like one NFL player for 10. Although I guess Jake Bailey did punt a little bit, but was also a punter in the 5th round.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say the N'Keal Harry one is really frustrating because you still had Tom Brady on the roster and you needed to help Tom Brady in what would be his last year with the team, and you drafted a guy that just couldn't play at all, and it was terrible. However, if you're going to draft a wide receiver who sucks or a guard who sucks in the 1st round, at least the upside of a really good receiver is so much better than the upside of a really good guard who you can find anywhere.
N'Keal Harry maybe shouldn't have gone in the first. Well, clearly in retrospect, but I mean, based on mock drafts, I don't think he was projected in a lot of 1st rounds. But Cole Strange wasn't projected on day one or 2. A lot of places.
Harry was like a consensus top 3 receiver coming out.
Yeah,
so he was. But the trick. So again, drafting a guard in the 1st round, I would never ever do. And then people are like, "What about Quentin Nelson?" All right, you gave me one in like a 100-year history. I still wouldn't do it. I still wouldn't take him as great as he is.
Yep.
I would take receiver in the 1st round. What hurts the Harry thing is both the Tom Brady last year combined with Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, the guys right after.
I still think 2019 is worse. But if you want
also because Marcus Jones is better than Damian Harris, so that also helps that class.
2022. I mean, if you want to make the case, it could have been foundational for a team like this, where you could have some pieces in place. Sure. I mean, if you drafted right in 2019, maybe you tack on like another champion. Like I just think that was so much higher stakes. And you make a good point about N'Keal Harry. It wasn't just that they whiffed on N'Keal Harry, it's that every other receiver in that draft was good.
All really good.
Now, the bad thing was Strange is that you traded down, and you could have had Trent McDuffie if you just stayed pat.
Right. And that would have been a good combo with Gonzo.
That would have been a nice combination.
Also,
yes.
Joanne Williams was just the next in line of cornerback 2nd-round busts. It was like a weird blind spot. Bill Belichick couldn't draft wide receivers, but also specifically 2nd-round corners.
Right.
It was like Razai Dowling. It was Duke Dawson. It was Terrence Wheatley. It was Joanne Williams. It was like Cyrus Jones. It was like a really weird thing that he just couldn't do.
I mean, I liked Eugene Wilson. They drafted him as a corner. He had to move to safety.
Yeah.
And so, Bill really struggled with those 2nd-round guys.
Yeah,
that is true at that spot. 617-779-7937. Let's go to John in Drake. Go ahead, John.
Good morning, fellas. How are you?
Excellent.
Doing great.
All right, Jones, you stole my thunder. I was thinking L.A. Rams right away for Cole Strange. It would be beautiful if he goes there and they coach him up and he becomes a serviceable member of the offensive line. Don't forget, when he was drafted in 22, the Patriots were trying to transition to that type of offense and they couldn't teach it. Well, maybe he has a place there. The other place that might be an option for him is Cincinnati. They need help on the inside of their offensive line. The problem is Scott Peters, who was here last year, is their offensive line coach. So he's gone from the 31st ranked offensive line to now the 32nd offensive line. So I don't know if Scott Peters knows how to coach offensive linemen, but that could be a place because, like the Patriots, they like cast-offs and they like cheap players, cheap coaches, and that's maybe a landing spot for Cole Strange.
Okay, good Cole Strange scout there.
Yeah, they took Ted Karras. Remember, they gave Ted Karras some money. They said, but Ted Karras could actually play. He could play a few different spots. I don't know if Cole Strange, but I do think, you could probably do the same exercise. Any first-round pick that got cut from the last 5 years, I bet gets a shot. They get a shot, and then it's like, all right, this isn't it, and then they're in the XFL or whatever else, but at least you can get an opportunity.
Meanwhile, Kyle Duggar still here. Jeremy Fowler, tell me if this bothers you, Keefe.
All right.
He tweeted out yesterday, the Patriots got multiple trade offers for safety Kyle Duggar per source, but his $9.75 million guaranteed salary and how much of it New England would absorb was a hurdle. For now, he remains on the 53-man roster. So I could see him getting moved by, the trade deadline. Maybe they wait for teams to have some injury. Maybe they wait for that number to go down a little bit, right? Like teams only have to take on a prorated portion of the salary later on in the year. Some of the guaranteed money the Pats are on the hook for either way. So fine. It sounds like he still thinks he could move. I don't know how soon. The fact they wouldn't eat any of that money when they have oodles of cap space, to me is frustrating if you really had teams interested in him and you could have got something for him.
Yeah, I guess the question is, what do you really get for him? And then if it's you got a 7th-round pick for Kyle Duggar to play somewhere else and you have to pay for him, I'm not doing that. I think to all the reasons we were saying before, I wouldn't have moved on from him just because you don't have a ton of talent. Is he one of the 53 best players that was in camp with them? Yes.
Probably.
Is he one of the 30 best players? Probably. I think if you're really ranking every single guy, and that's probably an exercise for another time, I would think that he is...
You want to tier the Patriots roster next week?
next week. We're going to need to set aside an hour.
All right. Yeah, if you do it that way, I wouldn't put him in the bottom tier.
No.
He might be the second to bottom or maybe a frisky tier.
Yeah, he's a frisky player.
He could be a frisky player.
Yeah, he's an overpaid frisky.
Did you see what we tiered yesterday?
I loved it.
Cy Young winners in the American League since 2000?
There were a sizable amount of goats.
Yeah, so that was Bradford. Bradford was a tough cookie to crack.
It's a whole herd of goats.
He's like, that's a Hall of Famer, top tier. I'm like, yeah, but there could be tiers within the Hall of Fame. He's like, top tier for me. He also wanted to put Porcello in the top tier, so I was like, all right.
Get out of here.
He's a big fan. So I was like, all right, we can't do that. But no, I think Duggar, the idea of just dumping him for nothing already didn't sit right with me. I'm like, you're not in that kind of position to do it. And then I'm sure it didn't sit well with Kraft to be like, wait, we're dumping him and we're paying him to not play here? Let's just keep him until the guy becomes a problem, and he doesn't seem to be.
Yeah. My big takeaway there, doesn't sound like they cleaned up the rat problem. They weren't and it could be other teams. It could be agents. But still, some information leaking out about the Pats.
Rat. Okay?
He was, though.
Yeah, he was.
He was a rat.
It's true.